If you don't adopt AI, you might end up losing your job. About 70 to 80,000 jobs were lost, and they were all caused by AI.
Oracle fired 30,000 staff last, and these were technical jobs, basically.
There's a whole lot of adverse effects you can possibly think of when it comes to AI and humans. If humans are relying more to talk with AIs, for example, that means over time we're going to lose our ability to relate, to create healthy relationship with humans. We believe that there's a machine that we can trust. Is that true? No. Humans will always be humans. Understand that while these machines can generate, it is within your own judgment to either accept or reject the output of that machine.
Okay. What's the dark side of AI? More than 50% of you watching right now haven't subscribed yet to this channel. And I'd like you to do me a favor. Please subscribe now. It is how we continue to bring you the latest education on psychology and well-being so you can become the best at what God has created you to become. And it's also how YouTube recommends this video to more people and a bigger audience. So please do us this favor. Subscribe now and share this video. Today we are with incredible, intelligent, brilliant, I call him an all-round person. Mr. Chuks Abanom is the CEO of Vent Africa. Amongst other startups that he has co-founded, he's been on ULab show for the first time, and this is his second visit. So Chuks, would love to welcome you again to the ULab show.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Mr. Chuks Abanom is an AI engineer. So, today we want to talk about everything AI. In the news is AI. Around us is AI. We are seeing AI everywhere. So, AI is everywhere. So, what really is AI? And artificial intelligence suddenly is everywhere. And why is it transforming jobs, businesses, education, everyday life, and so fast?
Yes, thank you for having me here again.
Thank you.
So what is AI?
Yes.
And how has it really transformed life? Before I talk about AI, it's important for us to take a step back to revisit the traditional computers that we've had, where we key in information and then we get an output.
Yes.
But in 1956, a paper came out. There was a publication that mentioned artificial intelligence for the first time. And the idea was to have the computer itself mimic the human intelligence, where we are not just able to put in information in a digital device and get almost exactly the same output, which most people would say garbage in, garbage out. But then a machine that would exercise a level of human-like intelligence. And that's, brought about the whole idea of AI that we have today. Before now, there has been a lot of machines that can do classifications, for example. They can really categorize things. They can identify things. We have things like computer visuals, for example, that can recognize objects. But not until late 2022, when we had OpenAI release the first model to the public to test out, people really didn't understand that this thing is AI, and it didn't really go mainstream. But we've been using AI for quite a number of years now. When you check your email and there's some of your emails that is being sent goes to the spam, what you've just witnessed is a form of artificial intelligence. When you are using Siri or Alexa, what you are using is a form of artificial intelligence. When you are on the prediction market, or when you are in systems that are able to categorize things or recognize objects, those are actually artificial intelligence in their sense. So it's been there for some time, but the one we had open source out there late 2022 was something completely different, and that's the one we call generative AI, which I will talk about more.
Generative AI.
Yes.
So tell us more about that.
Okay, so generative AI is a type of AI or artificial intelligence that actually generates new information. If you take a step back again, the other AIs that I mentioned, the Siri, when you talk to it, performs a particular action. The object recognition tools, your email system detecting spam messages or categorizing messages based on socials, based on updates, or the ones that I have to sit in your primary inbox. Yes, I said those are
forms of AI.
They are forms of AI. But we didn't have an AI that could actually generate new information. An AI that you can talk to like an human and is able to understand not just the information there, but on the context that you have placed that information. And with that context, is able to produce a completely new information. And that's where the word generative came from. So it can generate new information, new ideas, new perspective. And to me, this is the most advanced technology that humans have actually created.
Most advanced.
Yes.
So does it account for why it is sweeping everywhere so fast? You know, people have this fear that AI is coming to take our jobs, is in the news. What makes it the most robust of all the AI technologies you've seen? What makes it that way? Why do you think it's so?
Yeah, why I say it's the most advanced technology I've ever witnessed is because for the first time, we had a technology that could challenge humans in intelligence. You know, there's been this credibility around human because we can speak, we can communicate, we can learn patterns, and through those pattern recognitions, we can generate a whole new information. In art, in science, you would get to see this. In business, you get to see it. You see new terms spring up. You see books that are being created by humans. You read poetries. You know, we watch fiction movies, and you see a whole lot of ideas that humans are able to create. This tool that we have today, AI, has also brought that level of intelligence to machines like humans have never seen it before. They are not just responding to a question trying to recognize patterns or categorize information. They can clearly mimic how the human brain works. Through training, they're able to recognize patterns. They're able to create new information. So today we can have AIs that we can tell to write a letter for us, and they will write a well-crafted letter. Because of one thing, one big thing, they are able to understand, interpret, and create new information from natural language.
So what that means, like you said, we now have machines that can mimic human intelligence in thinking, memory, pattern recognition.
Yeah.
So what that means is I can clone myself digitally and have it do the things the way I do them.
Yeah, so...
Is that possible?
Yeah, so I want to give an exception to that.
Okay.
God is still the ultimate.
Okay.
Right, but if you look at what this tool is capable of, if you look at the power of humans having to interact or collaborate with a machine that can work tirelessly, work 24 hours, and still exhibit a level of human intelligence at an unprecedented speed, precision, and accuracy, it brings a whole new level of possibility. From research, for example, things that would take humans 10, 20 years to do, we can now attempt to do those things in 2-3 months. From studies, you could actually tell these machines to break down things for you, and they're able to understand your words, even with the typographical errors you could possibly have in those sentences. They would understand it, craft the message, and respond to you with new set of information. This is a superpower. For humans, this is really a superpower. For humans that would learn to key into this particular machine called AI, it is a superpower that humans have never had before. And just to add again, if you look at the different human inventions, from the steel, we had electricity, we have the light, we had the light bulb, we had train, we had the internet, and a whole lot more. We had computer itself. This is the only machine for the first time, or the only technology for the first time that can replicate itself. This machine can build itself, it can improve itself. The other technologies are rigid and can only be scaled by humans or human efforts. But for the first time, we have a machine that can not only understand, interpret, and be helpful to humans, but can also recreate itself or advance its course and the human course.
I think it's safe to say, because before now, if you're battling with something new, people say Google it. But these days is ask ChatGPT or ask Gemini or ask Claude.
Yes.
And that brings me back to my second question. It's ChatGPT versus Claude versus Gemini versus Perplexity. The list goes on. What are these generative AI tools and how do they work? Which one should we choose in 2026?
First of all, I would want to paint a mental model or a shift in how you should see AI. Yeah, you called it a tool. Sometimes I do call it a tool. But deep down, what I want to call this, not just tools, but collaborative tools or technologies that would augment the human intelligence. So when you look at Claude, for example, you talked about Gemini, you talked about ChatGPT. These are different companies that have created generative AIs. And these different companies have trained their AIs with different data. So when you have ChatGPT, for example, in writing, is very good at writing. When you have Gemini, there are some tasks that you have to use Gemini to do. It is very powerful. If you have Claude, things like building softwares, orchestrating infrastructures, it's very good at that. And in today's AI, for example, for Claude, where we have the Opus 4.7, which was released a couple of days ago, these tools' capability has now grown tremendously. So you have articles saying that, from the time late 2022 to this second quarter of 2026, we've had these two grow in 1,000%. And that is massive if you look at where we are. So as a tool or as a collaborative partner in whatever you do, whether you are learning, you are working, you are researching, you are exploring new ideas or playing with exploring new perspectives, you can use these tools. You can use ChatGPT, you can use Claude, you can use Gemini to achieve the same thing. I don't want to paint a picture. I don't want people to see it as these tools are special in a certain way in doing certain things. Most of their capabilities and what we can get from them is still heavily dependent on how much we can prompt them or ask them to do those tasks. So a part of human creativity is still very much needed for us, not just to get the generic answers that millions of users on these platforms will, but then for us to get a well-crafted result that doesn't just produce new information, but new information that resonates with our ideas, new information that sounds like us, and new information that are eventually helpful and are outputted in a way that we need them.
So you're saying that whether it's Perplexity, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, the list goes on, either of them can do any job. So if I'm a student and I'm interested in research work, any of them can do the same work?
Yes.
Or are they better at something more than the other?
Yeah, so you would read where people would say that ChatGPT is better at some things than others, where they will tell you that, for example, Claude is better at writing codes and building softwares than the others, that maybe Gemini is very good with creating visual content, especially when you have to pair it with another AI tool called Nano Banana. And then that Perplexity is more of the educational type where you are doing research and all of those things, you get to key into it and you generate very good results. I have worked with these tools and I have played around like all the platforms from the ones from North America. You have the ChatGPT, the Claude and the likes, to the ones from China, DeepSeek. I've played around of them. The capabilities and the improvements in this coming out from these particular AIs are not the ones you would rely solely on, how much specifics they can do, or their areas where they are leaned. Again, remember that these AIs are a type of AI we'll call the large language models. And what that means is that they are trained with vast data, huge data sets cutting across almost all human life, almost all human endeavor. It means that their capability would always increase based on the new versions that are coming up. And the interests as humans, if we are collaborating with these tools, it's not enough for us to pick which work best in some particular situations. Yes, you could come to that where you want to pick a particular tool. But my idea around which tool should you use should be more or less based on how well am I grounded to harness this particular partner, a collaborative partner. How well can I coach this particular technology to do my bidding, to get me the result I want? And that is the angle I always lean when people talk about this. Because trust me, I can give you Claude, for example, and I have the same Claude, the same subscription. The output I'm going to get for the same operation or task
won't be the same.
Wouldn't be the same. It would definitely not be the same.
So I think I like the way you put it. It says how vast the person using the collaborative tool is. So that takes me to the next question. How to start learning AI as a beginner? So let's say I've just been hearing about AI. I don't know what it is. I'm overwhelmed with the noise that AI will take my job. What is the easiest roadmap to understanding and using AI? Can give me
the understanding AI or getting started with AI. So there's really no prerequisite to AI. I could say if there's any prerequisite, you should be that you can read and write. You understand natural language, right? You can communicate with softwares, right? You can identify icons. Basically, that's it. The next thing is around your curiosity. And while the noise is there, I wouldn't call it a noise, because there's a whole lot that has been done with AI. But if you want to still tell me it's a noise, while it is there, there's so much you can do with it. If you want to get started with AI, don't stress yourself trying ideas or new things that you are not aware of or things that are not in your field. If you're a student, for example, you have some sort of homework assignment, new ideas, topics you want to explore in a particular subject or program. Take it to AI as a learning partner. Again, why sometimes these days I don't want to call it a tool is that the capabilities of AI today, especially from the frontier models like Opus 4.5, Gemini 3, and ChatGPT 5.4 and the likes, the capability is so much that if you just use it as a tool, maybe to write a layout for you or to categorize things, you are just wasting resources. They can do a whole lot more. So as a student, there's usually one topic out there that is frustrating you. Why not take it up as a collaborative partner? Tell this AI, if you're using ChatGPT, you're using Claude, you're using Gemini, I'm indifferent about any of them. Yes, just talk to them. Tell them that this is my problem. This is the question. I want you to break this down for me. For example, like you are doing it to a 15-year-old, or you break this down to a layman. And then when you do this, share me your chain of thought. And then you will see how beautiful this is going to, break that scores down. I assure you that most subjects today, most programs, whatever you are learning, there's tools, this artificial intelligence machines, they do have the capability to understand. They have been trained to understand them, from math, the science, English, physics, name the subjects. They do have a learned knowledge to help you. So take it to them and you would get your answer. If you're a businessman, at one point or the other, you are looking for strategies to grow your business, to scale. You can talk to these AI tools. Give them in details what you plan, how you're saying it. You can bring in contests. You can bring in sometimes what we call the few shots prompting, where you have to show them examples of what you've done before. You can upload documents and tell them what you want to do. Do you want a new business strategy? Do you want to scale? Is there any scenario modeling that you are doing, for example, for a new market that you want to venture into? You talk to them and they're going to build out this thing step by step. And if it's something entirely new that you don't even also understand, like I said before, you could always tell them that they should, explain their chain of thought. How did they get to this particular result? And they're going to break it down and really tell you. It's so refreshing having to learn or collaborate with a machine that would never yell at you, is not tired. Yes, sometimes could be misleading. Yes. Yeah, sometimes it could hallucinate. But for most of the times, and for the new frontier models, their capabilities can be of immense value wherever you find yourself. So what I tell people is that if you want to learn AI, if you want to start with AI, start experimenting from whatever thing that you are curious about currently. If it's at your workplace, start trying something, because there's always a theory to everything.
Correct.
And these tools are very good at, creating these theories, either from learned knowledge and entirely, let's say for things that already exist, for knowledge that already exists, or you trying to even explore new perspectives. They are good and they are there. And when you do that, when you work with the tools, make sure that you learn along the way. You learn along the way. Yes.
Interesting. You also talked about the quality of your interaction with the AI is directly relying on how you're able to talk to the machine. So you use the word like prompting, right?
Yes.
So on how to use AI prompts like a pro. So what is this prompt about? What is it? So some call it prompt engineering. And how can anyone starting out, like you said, the best way to start is with curiosity and trying things. So I'm now ready to start trying. I have curiosity, but I want to talk to the AI in a better way that helps it give me back what I want. So how do I do that? Prompt engineering, whatever it is. Can you tell us?
Yes. So what is prompt engineering, or what is prompting? Prompting is basically a way you talk to AI.
Okay.
When you type could be questions, or when you give it a task, that's a prompt.
Okay.
Then we also have engineering part of it. So let's take a few steps back. For years, we've been using Google. When you use Google, most of the things we do with Google is to ask Google questions.
Yes.
So we ask Google questions and they pick up that as a query. And when they pick up that, they're going to search a database of their record. It's very complex, but just take it that they search a database and return a response to you.
Yes.
That's what they do. Now, when you are prompting, it's a bit different, because the AI as a tool is not a deterministic machine.
Okay.
It's an undeterministic machine, meaning that the results it returns is a newly generated information that inferred from the prompt that you gave it, or the question or the task that you gave it, and adding that also with the data it is being trained with, and also how that particular AI software has been built to operate. So your results would be based on your prompt, how the system prompt has been designed behind the scene, which you don't see, and also the amount of data or knowledge that machine already has in place. So those are the things that are going to determine the output of your prompt. Now, the whole engineering part of it is that, unlike the way you ask the Google a straight line question, with this machine or with this tool, it is collaborative in nature. It's a partner. You get to talk to the machine and it gets to return a result. And if that result is not satisfactory, you could iterate on that result. You could ask them, okay, I think on this is not what I want. I want it to be this. So let's say I'm researching about how I could teach AIs to students. And then this guy goes on to spit out a couple of things that I could do. But I look at it and I just discovered that I did not define the scope. And then it's bringing topics that, say, a 10-year-old would not readily understand. It's out of the scope of this my particular audience. So I would ask the AI, okay, I'm doing this for 10 to 15-year-old. So it's going to streamline his answer. It's going to create his answers again based on the new prompt that I've given to it. So you begin to engineer your results. You begin to engineer the input that you give to it until you get your desired result. And how does this start? First of all, you have a question. And when you have a question, the next thing you want to do is that you want to add a persona to that question. Remember that this AI as a tool or as a thinking partner is built, trained with a huge, large data set. So it knows something about a doctor, it knows something about an engineer, it knows something about a civil engineer, a software engineer, for example. It knows something about a physician, it knows something about a teacher, it knows something about the military, it knows something about the police, the entire force. He has a bit of knowledge and information about the whole of this. So, for example, in computing, when you talk about networking, we are talking about the ability for two computers to talk to each other.
Correct.
But if you go to marketing or in business and you talk about networking, it's not exactly the same thing, right? So understanding that this is a large language model, is trained with huge data sets, and that when you are asking it question, you need to specify the profession to lean on. You might get a very generic answer that is not so good. You might get a generic answer. You might be misled even in the process, because when you just type a question like you do on Google, what you've just done, you've left the machine to assume. But then when you give it a persona, if I ask it to think like a software engineer, or if I ask it that you are a software engineer, and then I follow up with the prompts, the part of his memory that is going to trigger
is going to lean towards
that software engineering. If I'm in the medical field and I ask it, okay, even in the medical field, you have, different domains within the medical field. If I lean on a particular domain, if I said a eye doctor, an optician, for example, it's going to lean more on how an optician would get to interpret this information that I've prompted it, and it will give me the result. The next thing is that while all this is possible, where you can give it a persona and it relies on its information sometimes, or the data is being trained with, may not be enough. So you also want to pass in more information, which we call like more context. You want to give it more context. You could upload the document and tell it, okay, reference this document in your output, or in generating, you could look up this document to see like more context, get more context of what I'm talking about, the question I'm talking about, and it's going to do that. So when you do all of these things, one of the things you will notice that you are going to get better results. Now, it doesn't end there. The result formats, for example, also depends. There are sometimes you just need an essay. If you don't necessarily tell the AI what the output should look like, you can't tell. There are sometimes maybe you need code. If you don't tell it that you need code, you can't tell. It's going to spit out something anyway, right? If maybe for your output, you just need a table, you need the results to be in a tabular form, you can tell it, okay, this is the output I want it. Maybe you want it to write to a PDF. You don't just want it to paste it on the chat window that you want to write it to a PDF. You can define your output. Then when all this is done, one of the things you shouldn't fail to do is to evaluate. Understand that while these machines can generate, it is within your own judgment to either accept or reject the output of that machine. And in evaluation, it also gives you the opportunity to, see errors, iterate, and if there are concepts or context that doesn't exactly match what you want, you can also nudge that computer or that AI in the right direction. So these are, I've just listed up to 5 steps of what you should do. You have a task, you should define it clearly. You should give the AI a context. Where possible, give the AI reference materials. Be sure that those reference material does not contain personal identification information or any sensitive data, either personal or organization data.
Okay.
When the AI generates the output, always evaluate and don't forget to iterate. So the power of your result or the end result that you're going to get is always in iteration. You may not get the result you want at first, but through iteration, prompting and nudging the AI in the right direction, you will definitely get your results.
I think one thing is clear, that AI is to help us become more productive, right?
Yes.
So in talking about AI for productivity, can you walk us through one real everyday task where AI can save hours of work for individual employees or business? So just pick up, let's say, any industry, any task. So just walk us through how AI can cut down the time it takes to do something dramatically.
Yes. So last week, I was at the office on Monday last week, and then two of my accountants, I think both of them chartered accountants, they were battling with one Excel sheet formula. And I walked up to them, we exchanged pleasantries, and then I looked and what are you guys working on today? I said, okay, we have a formula, this, and then we need to do this. And I said, okay, fine. Have you tried talking to AI or adding AI to this old task to speed it up? I said, yes, we actually tried using AI. He explained what we want to do. You know, we are in sync with what we want to do. Now we're trying to craft the Excel formula. And I told them, okay, but wait a second. If the AI already understood exactly what you guys need to do, even gave you the columns that you need to add on the Excel sheet, why craft the formula yourself? And then the response was that, we want to do it ourselves, because they were not even sure if the AI can do it, right? That is a very big problem when you are approaching tasks. But let's move forward.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, I told them that, okay, if the AI broke this whole step down, this complex thing that you guys want to do, this same AI can write that formula. Why not go back, describe the formula in detail, step by step? Don't introduce any ambiguity. Clarity is very important. Make it short, be clear on what you want, just describe it, and let's see what's going to happen. In less than 60 seconds, they got a perfect working formula. The ChatGPT just gave them, and they imputed it on the sheets, and they got the answer. I asked them, are you sure this is what you want? They said, yes, this is exactly what they want. So AI can help in different fields. That's just one use case. AI can help in different fields. For me, as a technical founder and a CEO of a tech company, I find myself experiment a lot on new features. If I want to discuss with my team, sometimes their ideas could just pop up in my head, and I really want to test it out so that I don't waste my team's time. Right. Before now, this is something that I would always have to come to a meeting. We spend hours brainstorming, but I now have a partner that is as intelligent.
And this partner is AI.
Yes.
Okay.
That can work with me to explore this new perspective, to explore this new feature, to do research with me, to do competitive analysis with me, to be even sure if this is what customers want. Is it the direction they are looking at? Is there a trend around this? Does this create any real value? And then I tell this AI to be brutally honest. Don't try to sugarcoat things. Don't try to bend to my will. Push back as much as you can. And that's the kind of thing I need. So I do that every now and then. And sometimes I get to see that the new ideas I want to really bring into the softwares, they are not worth our time. They are not worth our time, and we'll kick it off. Right. Talk of data and decision. We live in a world of infinite data.
Correct.
And with AI, it's
getting bigger.
It's getting bigger because now we have a lot of synthetic data from text, images, audio, videos, you name it. We have all of that now. AIs can create that. So the problem now is not around how much information you can get, but how you could make sense out of those information. With AI, every single day, there's one sort of analysis here and there that I have to do, that I have to involve AI. And one of the beauties of this is also now with their capabilities, I don't only reference to my own data, but I could ask them to call tools like do a web search, reference materials online to either support or oppose my view. So at the same time, I'm trying to explore new perspective at other points. I'm trying to analyze the data, and I'm also supporting or rejecting whatever proposition I have from real external sources on the internet. The examples I tell you is the numbers, the different applications, is just countless. I use it for a lot of things, for planning, for drafting PRODs, for drafting spec documents, for learning. I use it a lot to learn. There are things I know before now, but I really want to get the fundamental knowledge of how those things work. Yeah. Trust me, AI is your friend. Just walk up to him, describe what you want, describe the stage you are with that thing. What level of understanding do you have, and how do you want the result to be presented? It gets it out for you.
Interesting. And ultimately, I would say the goal of increasing productivity is such that we can make more money, right?
Definitely, right? Yes.
So, in talking about how to make money with AI, what's the best way to use AI for freelancing, content, side hustle, business growth, advancement? How do I make money with AI?
So the question is already answered. Productivity. And when we talk about productivity and scale, we're also asking a question of, is the cost scaling with the numbers? Is it scaling up or scaling down? With AI, I can tell you that the it's so cheap to get things done. Okay. It's so cheap to get things done. So as an engineer, there are some softwares I want to build, and that software ordinarily before now would require me to get maybe 10 people, a 10-man team to build that software. Yeah. I don't need that 10-man team anymore. I can really scale that to a 2-man team. And not just that, if it's going to take the 10-man team 6 months to build, in today's world with AI and an $100 or $200 subscription per month, I'll be able to get that same solution out with just 2-man in a month or less.
So that cuts your money for you as a CEO.
Yes.
But for me, I'm losing my job, right? But remember, I'm losing my work. I'm losing my job.
Yeah.
But if I want to make money with AI, how do I do it?
Yeah. So if, as a CEO, for example,
yes,
I have the ability to start to run my business with a very low capital. It also means that you as a person, you can actually try out new things that you wished you would have wanted to do before now.
Okay.
So there's no monopoly around being a CEO. So you can be your own boss, bro.
Okay.
Yes.
So it means AI can empower me to become my own boss.
Exactly.
And support other people and make money from them.
Perfect.
Okay.
Before now, if you need maybe 50 million to get started with a business, some businesses, or maybe let's bring it down. Maybe you need 10 million naira to get started with a business, and it's a software business. Maybe what you'll be needing now is 500,000 naira, and you get started.
Okay.
So that in itself is creating more jobs for people. It's giving people the opportunity to actually do things they never imagined they would do by themselves. And it's also eliminating roles that doesn't necessarily need the human efforts. I strongly believe that while AI is going to take the job, like you said, there are a lot of jobs it's going to create, and it's also redefining what we call value and what is worth the human time. It's a very big discussion, and it is what we look at, like in the future of jobs. What are we looking at? What are those things that actually require human effort? Now we have another intelligent machine. What exactly should we be keying our effort to? How should we approach work? How should we approach job? It redefines everything. But most importantly, it empowers a whole lot of persons to now experiment, try out new business ideas, fail and fail fast, with little or no capital.
Fail and fail fast with little or no capital. So I think the next big thing is about privacy. So AI privacy. What should people never share with ChatGPT or AI tools when it comes to using the machine or this this newfound partner, AI. So what should we never share? What should we never put out online? What and what?
For any reason, you shouldn't share your personal information, right? And this is not just about AI,
Okay.
right? When you are on a digital platform, you should be very careful what you share. I say it over and over again. One of the biggest challenge that would have in the AI world would be cybersecurity.
Okay.
And that's because people are behind a system with this illusion of private section. And they can just tell that machine anything.
Yeah.
But behind those systems are also companies
Correct.
that are running them.
Correct.
And from history, we know that the privacy policy written on this big company's webpage are not what you and I read, unless we have a court case.
Nobody reads.
Nobody reads it.
Scroll down
We just
check,
scroll
okay.
down and then we accept it.
Correct.
And we move on. And if you look at AI, for example, if you look at how much information these large language models are trained on, you don't need a soothsayer to tell you that there's every form of data privacy was breached.
Okay.
If this AI are good as a doctor, as a civil engineer, as a software engineer, as a physician, you name it, it means that information, our intellectual properties, at different scale, we actually stolen to train these AIs. So the question is it the same company you would want to blindly, because you think you are talking to just a software and maybe they don't have this information, that you would want to blindly just release your personal information to? Should you ever release your personal information to a machine out there? No. With AI, it's even worse, because when you do this, you might be susceptible to scam. You might be susceptible to targeted manipulation, because there are some of your deepest secrets you are releasing to these AIs, and you don't know how exactly these informations are captured before they get to the machine.
Yeah.
So if there is some sort of spying around that data, it can resort to all of these things I talked about. Targeted ads, targeted persuasions. You would think that for some reason, these tools, all they do is care about you. But you also know that they need your data.
Correct.
To train, to retrain, they need your data. There was a point in our life where we only had maybe 20 to 50 Facebook friends.
Yeah.
But then, behind Facebook, were AIs, not generative AIs, but were AIs that were able to match us to people that we later met to become friends with.
Yeah.
These guys knew who we're going to meet even before we knew them.
Yeah.
And for an average user, our friends list grew to hundreds and thousands of people. So you get to ask yourself, how did they train these machines, these AI machines behind the scene?
Yes.
To do those recommendations? How is it possible that when you talk about something or you search on a particular platform about a product, the rest of the applications you open will bring out adverts of the same product or similar products? So you are being watched, you are being spied on. No matter the privacy you are going to sign, the big players rely heavily on your data for targeted ads and for targeted information. And releasing your personal information is not what you should do. I will give you a secret anyway. There are some times when you are giving contests, and then it's just important for you to give a name, to give an age, or maybe any other information that could be classified under your personal identification information.
Yeah.
What you could do instead of giving out your own personal information is to give out a synthetic data.
Okay.
So, assume a random name. John Doe is fine. If you're a lady, Jane Doe is fine. If you understand exactly what you want, and then it requires your age, just pick an age within an age bracket that will fit into the context of what you are working with.
Correct.
Is there an address in Nigeria? tell the AI to fill in with any address, and it's definitely going to most likely pick up an address from a random address from Lagos, which works fine for you. If it's in Africa, it's going to pick up maybe an address in Lagos or Nairobi or in Cape Town. So that is exactly what you do. Give it synthetic data instead of giving it your personal information. And at organizational level, people should also understand that data protection is one thing, is a very big thing.
Yes.
If you are operating in Nigeria and you are handling people's information, you go for licenses like NDPR. And one of the things you do is to make sure that you protect user information.
Yes.
That trust of handling that information to you must be reciprocated. So if you need to analyze data as well, where your customer's personal information is in there, you would also want to create a synthetic version of those names and ages, and you would eventually get your result. As far you are not targeting anybody, which you shouldn't legally, under the law, you shouldn't, right? If that's not your aim, then you would also get your result.
Apart from privacy, is everything about AI all good? What's the dark side of AI? What are the biggest dangers of AI for society? Misinformation, deepfakes, addiction, bias, scams, and loss of human skills. Because again, we have a lot of digital companions online these days. You know, even the social connection is also moving online now. So people have digital girlfriends, AI girlfriends, AI boyfriends,
parasocial bonds.
Thank you. So is AI all good? What are the dangers?
Yeah, so AI is definitely not all good.
Okay.
Yeah. One must understand that for every technology, as much as we have the benefits, we also have the harm that it causes us. And one of the things we want to do as humans is to find the balance. But the problem is balance is very difficult because technologies have found a way to make themselves additive to humans. And we can really use them without even understand the adverse effect of what these technologies bring to us. That is why it's important that we understand how these tools work, how these technologies work. We understand as much as we see the benefit, we see the other side of it. So to individuals, for example, there has been a lot of reports where AI is replacing the human cognition.
Okay.
So you take, for example, in writing, in reasoning, even in judgment, you want to be sure that you are exercising them as often as possible.
Okay.
If you have to give all of these human tendencies to the machine over time, it's your ability to write, your ability to reason, and the quality of your judgment is going to gradually decline. And that is what we're seeing. So in the education sector, you see a lot of clamp down on the use of AI. What I believe, though, in education sector is that we need a new framework to run things, to educate and test for knowledge.
Okay.
We need a new framework. I think the ones we have is outdated. It cannot serve in this age because, again, for the first time, we have an intelligent machine that can think like humans.
Yes.
Now, if you also look at individuals, for example, you talked about it. We have this parasocial bond.
Yes.
Where people feel like, they can talk to a machine and then that machine can advise them on things like emotion and love. And they forget that this is a machine without emotion. It's a technology without emotion.
Correct.
It's a technology without lived experience. It doesn't know what it means for a lady to break your heart.
Even part of some of their proposition is that the machine never breaks your heart.
Yes. In short, they don't want it to, they always want it to be helpful.
Yeah, that the machine is always available.
It's always available and it doesn't break your heart.
Yeah.
So this machine has never felt what it means for a human's heart to be broken. It doesn't know what it means for humans to lose who they love. Per documentation, it might feel like, oh, you use the right word here, is sorry, is sorrowful, but it doesn't feel it.
Yeah.
So if at the end of the day you get to rely on these machines around your emotions and your love, you are in a relationship on your own. You think this machine love you, but it doesn't love you.
Yeah.
So I always advise, please let AI be. Go out there and interact with humans. Really interact with people. There's a whole lot of adverse effects you can possibly think of when it comes to AI and humans. And also when you look at the society, you get to see another set of problems that also the AI introduces.
Okay.
If humans are relying more to talk with AIs, for example, that means over time, we're going to lose our ability to relate, correct, to create healthy relationship with humans, correct, to trust humans, because we believe that there's a machine that we can trust. Is that true? No. Humans will always be humans. If you also look at the environmental costs of operating these machines, from the training of these artificial intelligence models to the queries or the prompts that we give to this, they're quite expensive. For a couple of years now, and especially last year's Christmas, I didn't feel Christmas.
Why?
20 years ago, there's this feeling around Christmas, and it's not about 25th. It's not the date. Okay. It's the season.
Okay.
The dry, dusty air, the cracked lips, my mom applying more lotion on my body to keep the body moisturized.
Yeah, correct.
The feeling, I get to talk to my friends. I mean, I think Christmas is here. It's coming down. We'll get to it. It's one of the most important things that matter to me for Christmas. It's not that day. In short, the Christmas day is boring for me.
Correct.
Last year's Christmas, I was waiting for Harmattan.
It didn't come.
It didn't come. It did not come. At least in December to January, I was in 2-3 cities in the country, and I didn't experience Harmattan, not even in the villages anymore. Okay. And you come to ask yourself, if you're reading the news as well, in many places that it snows, they didn't have as much. Year in, year out, you see a lot of these things that we used to experience that created memories for us. We are losing them.
So is AI responsible?
I'm coming to that.
Okay.
So the environmental costs of running AI is high. It's really high.
Okay.
And if we must understand, or if we must keep our environment, this earth, sustainable, we must understand the adverse effect of what's using high electricity, high electricity consumptions, like in AI training, and then in prompting or using AI, what it costs us as humans. The CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman, once shared that for an average ChatGPT query, would consume as much energy as an LED light that is left on for 2 to 20 minutes.
Just one prompt.
A prompt. A prompt. And then we have billions of those prompts flying every single day across these startups or these AI companies. And we're just talking about the prompt. When you think about the training, it's even crazy. So much that you have these AI companies having their own independent power plants that could power cities. So when you begin to think about the carbon footprint, the environmental cost of what these technologies, the harm that it brings to our environment and to ourselves, it's really high.
It's huge.
It's huge. It's really, really high. So for you listening or watching, the next time you want to prompt AI and maybe you are done, and then that human tendency to sound polite, which we call the politeness cost, kicks in to tell AI thank you. Remember that thank you can lit on a LED bulb for 2 to 20 minutes. And all of those in their numbers would contribute significantly to the environmental costs that we should all be responsible for. So the issues around AI and the societal issues, the individual issues, it's really much. But one thing I want to bring to notice is that we shouldn't always dwell, or we shouldn't dwell on the side, on this, I call it the polarized idea of AI is either going to take humans, to a level we've never witnessed before, to that level of utopia, or is going to eventually be the end of the human race.
Yeah.
We should try as much as possible to understand these technologies, and wherever we find ourselves, educate ourselves well enough that we can contribute meaningfully to not just the use, but to the sustainability of this technology and to the sustainability of the human race and our environment as well.
I think this is a huge topic because I've never thought about it this way. Although I know the AI companies use data centers, they use, but to have this understanding of what just one prompt and the energy consumption that goes with that,
it's massive.
Is massive. And maybe we can talk about that maybe on a different podcast.
Sure.
Okay, but will AI replace jobs, in your own opinion?
Just in the Q1 of 2026,
Yes,
about 70 to 80,000 jobs, tech jobs specifically, were lost, and they were all caused by AI. I talked to a lot of my friends in the tech startup, and one of the things that a lot of persons brag about now is how they were able to scale down their team from, say, a 10-man team to a 2-man team, and at the same time shooting up their productivity. So the question of if AI is taking jobs is true. It's the reality of things. Over here in Nigeria, we don't do so much of the knowledge industry per se. And then when we also do it, for those doing it, it's not at scale. So the numbers are not so much for us to really feel the impact of AI in job displacement
yet.
But it's happening. It's really happening.
Yes, because I also read in the news recently that Oracle fired 30,000 of their staff.
Yes.
I think last month.
Yes.
And these were technical jobs, basically.
Yes.
And India was the highest hit. So, for someone listening who is saying it will affect my industry, maybe someone in tech who knows it might affect his industry, what should he be doing?
When you look at the tech industries and also the people being displaced or replaced by AI, one of the things we also have to understand is that not everybody was replaced.
Yes.
So who are those left? When this AI came in as a tool, a lot of persons thought it was another technology that they can do without. But in today's world, just as humans rely so much on electricity, we are going to rely on AI. So many persons did not move with the trend. They were waiting to see what the outcome would be.
Yes.
But like I said earlier, this is a technology that can replicate itself. This is a technology that can, in an order of magnitude, improve itself. It took just a few years, not what people are used to, and blew up. If you look at the most adopted platforms in the world, the fastest growing ones, you talk about OpenAI.
Yeah.
It beat Uber, it beat other solutions, other technologies that ever existed. So the speed at which this solution came in, because it has the ability to improve itself, has been unprecedented. And humans, many of us never thought this was going to be the case.
Yeah.
A lot of persons lost their job because AI has redefined some of their responsibilities and they were not able to meet up. 2 years ago, or let me say even a year ago, the way my engineers write code is not the way they write code today. Before, our text editors like VS Code and the likes of them is a tool that you would have to open. Like, let's say you could liken it to Microsoft Word, and then you type every single character yourself. Every single program, you type it yourself. When there are errors, you would have to come and debug it yourself. In our engineering team today, you can find an engineer write 10,000 lines of code without necessarily contributing one manually with his or her own hands. And that is powerful. And I'm not talking about 10,000 lines of gibberish. I'm talking about 10,000 lines of well-architected, well-designed, and a highly scalable and clean code. Before AI, we talk about 10x engineers. With AI, it's 100x, 1,000x engineers. What would take a 10-man engineering team to build in 6 months, a seasoned engineer, just one seasoned engineer, can build it in 1 month.
Using AI.
Using AI.
Wow.
And that speed, that level of precision, that level of productivity is unprecedented.
Highly unprecedented. So if AI can increase output at this pace, and I'm still thinking it is for them, it's not going to happen to me. What mindset shift do I need to pick up now? Because I know we are slow in adoption as a country and as a people, but I'm sure over time it will get here. So many companies are already adopting it. Even though it's slow, but it's gradual. So, but I need to take a mindset shift today that will help me future-proof my job or pivot into something else that I want to do on my own. So what shift in mindset do I need to make today to make that happen?
First, you need to understand that AI has come to stay.
Oh, it's come to stay.
It has come to stay. And whether you like it or not, directly or indirectly, soon enough, if it's not already happening, it's going to affect your business, your role in other people's company, and how you do your job. So for your business, for example, you want to be competitive.
Correct.
And in being competitive, you want to try as much as possible to cut costs while you maximize profits. And one of the ways to do that is to adopt AI. Because like I said, if what a 10-man team can do can be done by one seasoned engineer, you've cut costs.
Correct.
Now, aside the cost, the speed. For me today, there are some documents that my engineers would need to draft for me. Before now, the timeline for that particular task could take a month thereabouts, and it's reasonable. In this age of AI, in my today's team, I could assign that same task for just 6 hours.
Wow.
Yes. So we talk about not just how much it can bring to you or the cost is going to talk, but also the speed. And business is speed. The capital you're looking for, the funds you're looking for, that profit you are looking for, it moves in the direction of speed.
Correct.
And you want to stay competitive. So if you don't move as fast, if as a supplier, you are telling your customers that it's going to take a month to produce, while other people are giving him an ETA of 2 days, you have lost that customer.
Yes.
In most sense, even if it's a business bound by trust, it's just a matter of time where people are going to understand, the people that are patronizing you are going to understand that this thing can be done faster, and everybody wants to move with speed.
True.
So you're going to lose that customer. As an individual, if you're being given a task and that task somehow, somewhere, someone is telling your boss, or there's another person, high performer, that is collaborating with AI in another team and getting similar tasks done in way less time, it's just a matter of time before your boss asks question your productivity.
Yeah.
So if you don't adopt AI, you might end up losing your job. So it affects business, it affects individuals all around. And you want to be sure that you are not caught up in that place where you would have to lose your job because you didn't adopt these tools. Because as at then, the productivity of the people that have adopted these tools is not one you can readily match up with.
Correct.
You would have zero defense. And my friend, you don't want to be there. As a business, as an individual, you don't want to be there.
You don't want to be there.
You don't want to play the catch-up game.
Don't want to play the catch-up game. I think this is an AI masterclass, because there's a pocket of ideas for anybody interested in moving or learning AI. Like Mr. Chooks has said, it is not something we can't do without. AI has come to stay.
It has come to stay.
We must work with it.
Yes.
And I've enjoyed this masterclass, and I hope you picked up as much as you can, and to go begin to try AI regardless of the platform. Mr. Chooks is indifferent about it. It's ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Nano Banana. The curiosity is what you need, and go practice with the tools that you have to see the result that you get, and continue to iterate the process to find out what works for you.
Yes.
So what else can we say to Mr. Chooks Abanom? Thank you so much for coming again.
Yes.
On the You Lab Show.
Yeah. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you.
It's good to be here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.